Sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, you know, I've done all I can. You see, I begged, stole, and I borrowed. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's why I'm easy. Ooh, come on now. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm easy. Yeah. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Why in the world would anybody put chains on me? Oh, I paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be what they want me to be. I'm not happy when I try to fake it. No, no. That's why I'm easy. Oh, I'm easy like Sunday morning. Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm easy. Yeah. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Yeah. I wanna be high, so high. I want to be free to know the things I do are right. Oh, I want to be free, just me. Oh, baby.
And the Unity North Band. Thank you guys so very much. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Unity North. Those of you in the room and those of you that are online, we are so grateful that you have joined your hearts, your spirits, and your intentions with us today for it to be an easy Sunday morning. Yes? a relaxed and easy morning where we give ourselves over to the vast miracle of love. This is an out-of-the-box service today. It is not typical, as you may have noticed already. Pay no attention to the people behind the shawls. No, pay all attention in the world to the people behind the shawls and the instruments and behind the skin. That is you, that is me. So we have a couple of very special blessings we're going to partake in today as the main body of the service. So I invite you to give yourself over to the miracle of love, yes? Each one of you is a manifestation of love, and you brought love into the room. Let's have an exchange of love in such a way that this world's a bit brighter place, yes? And I invite you, if you're able, to come up onto your feet. We have some lyrics to one of our favorite songs, Give Yourself to Love. I invite you to sing with me and to join your hearts and intentions with me as we sing. Together we sing, kind friends all gathered around. There's something I would say. What brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can hide. Let's raise our voices. Give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Together we sing, love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. Let love live here today as we sing. Give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. You sound wonderful this morning. Give yourselves a round of applause. And please be seated. And as the band continues to play, we want to dedicate that song this morning to three people that are no longer with us here on earth but have transitioned. And so we dedicate our service of love today to Gail Trapnell, to Ann Patterson, and to Rita Seams. May they Godspeed on your journey, ladies. We love you and bless you, appreciate you, and send you into the arms of the angels. I think we can stop now. You know, this is the first Sunday where our regular piano player for 10 years is no longer with us. And Tony Marietta, a member of our congregation, said, I'll step in. I want to give thanks for Tony Marietta and the band. We're figuring our way out. We're figuring out all the cues, but I love that we figured it out right there. Thank you, Tony. We appreciate you. Danielle.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are we doing? First off, we want to welcome our visitors, and we want to recognize that at Unity North, we are always giving ourselves to love. Amen? So, at this moment, we want to shower you with love. We want to pour our divine love into your divine spirit. Note that we have welcome team all around wearing tags that say, how can I help? And they mean it. They really want to help answer your questions. So at this moment, if you would just raise your hand, and we will shower you with the love that we have in our hearts and pour into yours. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you. Thank you. You change the energy of this place with your divine spirit. Thank you. And after service, we will have a welcome table downstairs where you can sit and ask questions about this community so you can be part of it. You can also text NEW to the number that you see on the screen and find out more about this vibrant community and all the many things that we do. But right now, we're going to tell you about some of those many things that we do with our first announcement. So today after service, we have Praying Pause. We have Mike Marinelli on the flute. We have Dr. Catherine Kelly. So you have a chance to go back home, bring back that beloved pet, that beloved family member to our Praying Pause service, because we love on humans, but we love on our furry friends and sometimes scaly and feathered friends as well. So we hope to see you at Praying Pause this afternoon. Our next announcement is that Reverend Michael Gadway is joining us this Wednesday. So this is a really special event, so you can find more about it on Facebook. You can find more about it in the app or on the website. So check that out, 7 o'clock, May 10th in the Peace Chapel. We also have still this week, so much happening this week, Insights into Spirituality potluck. So if you're into spirituality, I know you are. If you're into food, I know you are. We've got you. So this week, Insights into Spirituality, it is a movie and a potluck where you get to go deeper and fill your tummy at the same time. You can't beat that. We also have been talking about estate planning for seniors, recognizing that in life, we need help. There's not really a manual to this thing. And so we have had part 1, which was for the sandwich generation. Part 2 is for seniors, and that is coming up next week. So talking about things like trust and Medicaid and estates, all of those really exciting things that make us smile and giggle and laugh, right? Well, the Nelson Elder Care Law Firm is here to help you with that. It's always better to be proactive and get a head start than to wait until something happens and you really need to know the information. So make sure to check that out on Thursday, May 18th at 12 o'clock. You can register for that in the app. And our last announcement before our guest musician for the day comes up is Unity Basics. So this, I love to say, you can be in your jammies. And if you're already in your jammies at home, perfect. Stay in your jammies and join us on May 22nd for Unity Basics. A great opportunity to learn more about our church and to take those steps into membership. So we started off with giving yourself to love. And Tempe and Will have a beautiful song called Before Love Was a Word. So please put your loving hands together for Tempe Red Hawk and Will Hodge.
Thank you, Daniel. Long ago and far away, in a distant time and place, there was peace and mercy, there was hope and grace, coming from the darkness. Before a sound was heard, love was there. Before love was a word, before the stars were hung, before the sun could shine, before oceans gleamed, before mountains climbed, before we walked the earth and breathed its perfect air, love was there. Before love was a word. Of a tiny newborn finger, the palm of mother's hand, stirs the soul to believe there's a grand and holy plan. It speaks of things to come, of who we are and what we were. Love was there before love was a word. Before our hearts believed, before we fell from grace, before lonely roads, before grief and pain, before we knew of sin and how his love could save, there was faith before love was a word. Isn't it a blessing that we can rise when we fall? Isn't it amazing that love exists at all? Before the stars were hung, before the sun would shine, before oceans gleamed, before mountains climbed, before we walked the earth and breathed its perfect air, love was there. Before love was a word, love was there. Before love was
Tempe Red Hawk, Will Hodge, nobody sings that song like you do. It's absolutely beautiful. And what a wonderful idea to share today. Before love ever existed, before we knew how to explain it and what words to give to it, it existed as an essence, a spirit, a perfection. Yes? Before you ever one of us, before we became human and allowed our human minds to mess up that love, that's what we do here. We remember who we were at the beginning. We remember who we have always been, and we have forgotten, and we're making our way back home. Today, a couple of special services, all about making our way back home to love. In a moment, I'm going to invite a family to come forward, and this little boy I'm seeing him for the first time. He is angelic. He looks like he needed to be at the coronation ceremony in England. A few quotes before I invite the Hayward family forward. Let's put those quotes up on the screen right now. Do we have them? I'll read them to you. Children are the hands by which we take hold of heaven. Children are our portal of remembering. Children are the way that we remember who we are, and we get past all the forgetting. And we reach into our own souls. We see the example. We feel the light. We know the Spirit. And suddenly, a light bulb goes off and remember who we are. That was Henry Ward Beecher. John F. Kennedy said, children are the living messages that we send to a time we will not see. So not only is an opportunity with a child in our presence to go back in time and remember, but it is to reach forward into the future. And that we stand as the bridge, as children of God, as the bridge between what has been and what will be. That's how important our consciousness is. That's how important it is to celebrate the vast miracle of the love that you are, the people that you love are, the people that you don't like are. If you look deeply enough, you will find love. But ours is to look deep. Yes? Jesus said we must become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. In order to find heaven, in order to find that place of oneness that we celebrate, we must become like a child. What does it mean to be childlike? Anybody? What's it mean to be childlike? Not childish. Playful. Curious. Innocent. Bing, you're all right. There are no wrong answers here. Let me give you my answers. A childlike heart is a heart of humility. A child sees no differences between race and color and status. The child is friendly among themselves with every other child. They haven't yet been indoctrinated with who you're supposed to hate, who you're supposed to keep on the outside. Everybody belongs in the circle of a child's heart. A childlike heart is a heart of faith. A child's heart is trusting. It's not filled with doubt. It's not filled with suspicion. We might want to be a little bit more trusting to get back into the touch with the childlike heart of our own being. A child's faith is simple. It is not filled with arguments. cynicism and skepticism. A child's heart will not say, these are the good people and these are the bad people. That's a man-made construct that adults put into place that children are helping to reconstruct, to tear down and to reconstruct. Yes? A childlike heart will accept and offer forgiveness easily and restore wholeness much more quickly than adults. A childlike heart is a place of innocence. Somebody said that. It's a pure expression of unconditional love, agape love. Not love that says, I will love you when, I will love you if. It says, I love you with a great big exclamation point at the end of it, period. No conditions to it. Love is love is love is love. Together is love. A childlike heart will be teachable and always eager to learn. A child's heart is a heart that is hungry for spiritual nourishment. Just as a newborn baby craves milk, a childlike heart will crave spiritual sustenance. Hunger is a sign of good health. How many of us have lost the hunger to know the infinite, to be love, to know love, and to find love, even when it is difficult? A lack of hunger indicates a spiritual malady, a quest and a thirst and a hunger for love, no matter how difficult it is to find, is a symbol of health, of connection, of goodness. If we've lost it, we need to pay attention. Remain hungry. That's my message. Remain hungry. Remain thirsty. Remain faithful. Remain humble. Remain open. And remain childless. He's right on cue, because now this is where we're going to bring him up. So I'm going to invite the Hayward family to come forward and to see this living example in maybe some tears, maybe some grumpiness, but in a consternation and a sense of awe as the Hayward family is ready. Come on up here by the table. This was a baby blessing that was supposed to be happening many, many months ago, and yet another casualty of COVID is that's probably not the good choice of words. Another byproduct of COVID is we had to wait till he got a little bit older before we were able to do that. But we are delighted. Hi, Henry. He will make for himself on his own spiritual journey at some point. But rather today is a blessing ceremony, a dedication ceremony, a blessing, a receiving of God's gift of life, and our dedication to that life, to the very sacred spiritual essence that is expressing as Henry. Today is our dedication to support Henry, and you got an army behind you, Henry. Dedicate to support Henry in having a meaningful relationship with the power and the presence and the light that is God. Our lives are the legacies. You guys can stand up now. They are the legacies of those who have gone before us. Henry is the fulfillment of the dreams and the aspirations of many generations whose love and spiritual practice are a part of the fabric of who he is. Most importantly, Henry is the fulfillment of God's longing for the highest and best for this world. Yes? Children point the way from where we have all come. They take us back to love, before all the layers of adulthood got added and were accumulated. Henry, that's okay. The minister's messy up here, so you could be messy too and throw it all around. Henry points us to innocence and to purity, to joy and to unconditional love. Let us remember these qualities and the sure joy of being alive as children of God. So Clayton and memory. You have truly been given a gift in this beautiful child. I know that you know that. But he is not a gift intended for you alone. You have the responsibility of nurturing Henry for the world, that he may become all that God has destined him to be. And so I ask you to express publicly your commitments by saying, "We do," after each of my questions. Clayton and memory, do you dedicate your hearts to Henry's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being? We do. Do you promise to support Henry with all your love and to care for him with all your heart, even when you are disappointed or frustrated? Wait till he turns 13. Do you promise to nurture his talents, his gifts, his intellect, that they may shine as brightly as God has intended? We do. Do you promise to remind Henry that God is always available to him in prayer? We do. Do you promise to live a life that demonstrates your own love and your own commitment to family and to God? And finally, do you promise to remind Henry that he is free to make his own spiritual decisions and that you and God will support him on his own individual spiritual path. And now I'm going to ask, I had a microphone over on the piano. Can somebody grab the, there we go, thank you. I hope that you were warned about me doing this, but I'm going to ask that you publicly express your, short and sweet, but what is it your hopes and your dreams for your son might be?
Can I speak for both of us?
You can speak for both of you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you.
It should be on. Yeah, it's on.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing us into your home today and for being so kind to my family and my mom, Jamil Williams. But we couldn't have said it better about allowing Henry to choose his own spiritual journey and supporting him wherever that goes. And that's why we appreciate being here so much, knowing that that's what this church is all about and everything you do, Reverend. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, we've all heard it said that it takes a village to raise a child. We have an entire village up here today. In particular, and it's very near and dear to my heart, the role of grandparent is one of the most important. I have a few questions for you, Henry's grandparents. Do you promise to remind Henry and his parents that God is the source of their lives? Do you promise to remind all three of them that as children of God, they are truly never alone? Do you promise to remind them and demonstrate for them that God is available to them through prayer? Do you promise to remind Henry that he is free to make his own spiritual decisions and that you and God will support him and his parents on their own individual spiritual path? Do you dedicate your lives to Henry's spiritual unfolding? And so this, short and sweet, remember, there's a lot of you, invite you to speak your hopes and your dreams, your visions for this beautiful grandson.
I didn't know I was going to be giving a speech, but here it goes.
Not a speech.
I just can't be more happy for Clayton and Memory and Henry and seeing them launch Henry's life on the right path. Very proud and wish them all the best.
Very good. Pass the mic.
Well, this is my dream come true of my little Clayton 2.0. I prayed for Clayton's bride since he was in elementary school, and I done good. She far exceeds any dreams that I had for Clayton, and Henry is just, again, far exceeds my dreams. I'm just so, so grateful.
Grandparents. Where are the grandparents? There we go.
Well, we hope that Henry's life has been as good as our life has, and that his is full of all the joy and especially the family that we've enjoyed in the church and so forth, that he will see that and he will have a life would have.
Is out of town flying, and these are the grandparents that I prayed for my little beloved. So thank you, God.
The power of spirit that transcends earthly truth. Water represents the purity of Henry's soul and the purity of the love that we share with him. We also have a bowl of rose petals, strength and love in partnership. And so I'm going to take these, and he can sit right there. He looks very, very happy. He's ready. You're going to get some of these in just a minute. Henry Thomas Hayward, I bless your spirit. You are forever connected and blessed by the presence and the power of love of God. Henry Thomas Hayward, I bless all your human senses, that they are awakened to the miracle of God's wonderful life all around you. I bless your mind that you always make wise decisions to support your connection to the One. Henry Thomas Hayward, I bless your heart, that you may be the example of love and share compassion with the entire world. Henry, I bless your hands. I bless your beautiful, beautiful hands, that they may be the example of love, reaching out in service to the world to create harmony, to create compassion and beauty wherever you go. Henry, I bless your feet. I bless your feet, that you may always stand your ground for your beliefs with strength, with conviction, and courage. Can you pass me the rose? Thank you. And the towel. Henry Thomas Hayward, may you always know, wherever you are, wherever you may be, that you are loved dearly and purely as the presence of God, as the presence of love, and that your presence is a blessing to this world. Your presence is a gift to this world, and we bless you in the name of the Holy Spirit of love that you are and that you will always, always be. So this is a special day because we have two ceremonies, and our prayer shawl ministry wanted to offer a gift to your family as well as a gift to Henry, and so we have a little presentation of a prayer shawl that is infused with the love of this congregation. And let's hold that up so everybody can see what we just gave him. You want to hold that? And so, congregation, I'm going to invite you to stand one more time and to behold the presence of love, to hold it for this whole family, and to know that his presence here today is reminding us of the truth of our own being. And we have some lyrics we're going to put up there again. You guys just receive. Child of God, you are so beautiful. Child of God, you can let your true self show. I know who you are, precious child of God. Child of God, you are loved. He's going to bless us with some water. Let's sing it one more time. Child of God, you are so beautiful. Child of God, you can let your true self show. I know who you are, precious child of God. Child of God, you are loved. I present to you Henry Thomas Hayward, the child of light and of love. I'm almost hearing as you hold it, Ostendanya Radabichi Baba. And so I have a rose here for the two of you. There will come a time when the love that we've celebrated today might be forgotten. And I challenge your family and the grandparents and all gathered here today, when those times come, if there is distance between you and Henry, that somewhere in your home a rose appears, as a reminder to always return to the truths that we have known here today. When you return to love, there is no difficulty that you as a family cannot overcome. So a rose. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make a little bit of noise and thank them one more time. Please be seated. Oh, you want to do a photo? Real quick? No?
I got so many photos. My buddy Jamil recruited.
And so I mentioned there were two ceremonies today. When the prayer shawl ministry approached me, about doing a special service to reaffirm the prayer shawls. And by the way, the tie can come off now. I miss my jeans and my comfortable shirts. But something very meaningful. I will take the heat here wearing this. When they approached me about a reaffirmation ceremony, I'd already booked this blessing for Henry. And I thought it was the perfect day to also bless our prayer shawls. I hope some of you who brought them today can put it on your shoulders at this point. And those who don't have one, the prayer shawl ministry, if you're in pain or feeling alone or feeling that you just need some support, they have prayer shawls in the foyer for you. Both the ceremony of the blessing of a child and the blessing of a prayer shawl, there's overlap here, yes? So I sat down to write out what a prayer shawl represents. A prayer shawl represents protection. The protection of God, the protection of family, the protection of community. It represents a sense of safety that no matter what is going on, you're not alone. It represents connection, a connection to spiritual truth, to spiritual family, and to our own divine nature and divine self. Beyond time and beyond space presents that we are not and never will be alone. It represents, of course, prayer. It's a prayer shawl. Prayers that wrap us in love when we have forgotten, that remind us of those that are holding prayer and possibility when we cannot envision that for ourselves. It represents a consciousness of wholeness that prayerfully says, I will know the possibility and the truth with you. I will know the possibility and the truth for you. And I will carry the burden when you're tired. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. She ain't heavy, she's my sister. The prayer shawl represents warmth, a community closing in around you when it's cold. It represents physical warmth, yes, and let me tell you, up here it is very warm. But at a much deeper place, it's a spiritual warmth that transcends it all, a warmth from the inside out, not the outside in. It represents care, a caring reminder that this universe is for us. This universe is for you. No matter how dark it might be, the universe is conspiring for your highest and your best. The community is for you. The community is holding the high watch, that life is absolutely for you. We're not walking this life alone. It represents spiritual community. Not a community as we might think of it in an external way, although it's a symbol of that as well. It's a symbol of unity with love, as a recognition that I belong to people that I will never meet. These prayer shawls were put together prayerfully and lovingly by people that you may never meet. Some of them are up here. Some of them have transitioned. Some of them are moved away, but the reality is that's a community that transcends physical location. When you wear this, you may be at home alone, but when you put it on, there's a sense of deep spiritual community that is healing, that is powerful, that is necessary. Regardless of personality and experience, this prayer shawl is a reminder that people I have never met are part of my spiritual community. Nobody asks when they're making a prayer shawl, I wonder if a Republican will get this. I wonder if a Democrat will get this. I wonder if somebody who's black or white will get this. I wonder if somebody young or somebody old will get this. I wonder if somebody who has forgotten, maybe a Christian will get it. Maybe a Jew will get it. Maybe a Buddhist will get it. Maybe an atheist will get it. Yet the reminder is just as profound. It transcends the labels. The consciousness and the prayers behind these prayer shawls transcend the human labels that have gotten in the way of the love that we are. It's the same connection felt by those who made it. They're receiving love as they make it for you before it's even on your shoulders or on your hands. Without even knowing who would receive them, these shawls were made specifically for the people who have received them. It's divine appointment. There's no accidents. The love that Norma put into hers gets to the right person who needs Norma's love. The threads that Richard puts into the prayer shawl are the exact threads that somebody needs. He doesn't know them. They may not know him. but that is the right exchange of love, and the world becomes a little bit more loving place because of an exchange. The color and the weave are not accidents. It's a divine appointment because love finds its way to love. That's what we're doing here. Love will always find its way to love. These shawls were made to bring comfort to someone who felt alone. They serve as a symbol of connection that transcends time and location. These shawls were made to bring comfort to somebody who was feeling anything but peace. Anything and everything. Anybody ever been there? These shawls were made to say, I've got the peace for you. Let me hold the high watch with you and for you. They were made to remind anyone who draped them across their shoulders that there are people who see your best, who don't know you as broken or stained or needing to be fixed. They don't know your life is something where something is wrong. They only know the wholeness and the perfection of your being. That is woven into every single stitch of these prayer shawls. I'd like to invite the leader of our prayer shawl ministry forward now, Barbara Howard, to offer a very special reading. Can I come down to you? You got a mic. Look at that. Danielle is so on top of it. You want to come up here? You good? Come on up. It's not sacred ground up here any more than it is sacred ground down there.
Okay, what a beautiful day to do this.
Hold it close.
Pardon me, closer. Okay, there we go. When we make the shawls, the foundation of the shawl are comprised of yarn and prayers. And I'm going to read a poem that addresses that relationship. This is called The Yarn's Journey. It's written by Tish Huar. So as the yarn's journey begins, it becomes a prayer that comes from the shawl maker's heart. The yarn becomes a journey of silent prayer. Through its twists and knots, the prayer is still there. The quiet clicking or swish of the yarn tells you that prayer is still going on. The shawl maker adds on another skein, and the prayer is anew. It doesn't wane. As time goes by, and the shawl maker's mind sometimes wanders, the yarn goes on and prayerfully ponders. A prayer is said, and the stitching subsides. The yarn comes to an end and is knotted and tied. It begins a new journey and is given with prayer. It's hope, faith, and love the recipient wears. But in the silent echoes, you can prayerfully hear the prayers, the quiet clicking, and the swish of the yarn. The yarn never ceases, and its silent prayers are still going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, for the work that you do. And so I'm going to invite you to stand again. You feel like you're in Catholic church, huh? Yeah. Up on your feet. I won't make you kneel. But I'm so grateful for the service of this ministry and each of the people in this ministry that I felt is appropriate to sing that song one more time. Child of God, you are so beautiful. Child of God, you can let your true self show. I know who you are, precious child of God. Child of God, you are loved. Child of God, you are so beautiful. Child of God, you can let your true self show. I know who you are, precious child of God. Child of God, You are love. Do me a favor, share a little applause as a means of sharing love with these beautiful people. Please be seated. So not to get too long-winded, but I want to put a bow on these two ceremonies today by sharing an email I received from one of our congregants, Glenn Johnson. How many know Glenn Johnson? You might know him as Santa Claus. He's played Santa Claus for us for many, many years. It seems fitting because Glenn is an example of the love that we've celebrated today, not just when he's playing Santa Claus, but throughout his whole life. His words came to me after one of our Wednesday night dialogues about family, and I found them to be extremely meaningful in regard to what the Prayer Shawl ministry demonstrates and what children point us toward. Glenn's formula for life is what he says is as follows: I love you and I accept you, even though I don't understand you. Within this formula, love is unconditional and does not have boundaries. I don't know about you, but the human race is making a lot of choices for anything but love these days. And I've caught myself making a choice in an unconscious place to forget the child that I was, to forget the love that I was, to forget the love that is surrounding me. Why is it we make those choices? I don't have an answer for you, but I'm asking you to ask the question: why have I chosen something other than love? He writes in his email, continuing, I see the majority of my life as a string of relationships. Relationships with my friends and my family. Relationships with strangers that I meet who are doing their jobs or getting from one place to another. And the relationship I have with my own mind, especially when I'm searching for a little bit of peace and quiet. He continues, it's as if my inner child is reaching out to the other's inner child and saying, I know that you've been hurt. I know that you have been disappointed and that you have felt trapped. You've been afraid. You've been angry and you couldn't show it or you didn't know how to express it. I have felt the same way. When I greet each person, even if just to myself, with the words, I love you, it sets the tone for everything that follows. How would life be? How would the human race and our earthly existence be if the words, I love you, were the first words we spoke to anybody and the last words we spoke? That which is in between would become much more sacred and maybe not resemble argument and not resemble fight and not resemble judgment. Close your eyes for a second, and I want you to bring to mind somebody in your life that it's so easy to love. And speak with me the words, I love you. Together, I love you. And now, picturing the child that we bless here today, every one of us is a child. Picture somebody who is a child who maybe is a little fussy, who's not showing up the way you think they're supposed to show up. They may be 80 years old. Hold them close and speak the same words. Together, I love you. Why do we choose anything but love? Because we're afraid. Your behavior scares me. Your ideas scare me. Your thoughts scare me. We are about letting love be the most powerful, transformative energy on the planet. You can open your eyes now. It sets a tone for everything that follows that interaction. But no less important than love is acceptance. I may not agree with all your choices, but I recognize those choices are yours, and I accept you as you are and allow you to make those choices, even though I don't understand why you make them. I've challenged the Hayward family that when he's 13, you may not understand his choices, but that rose will show up between you because you are committed to love. There's a lot of roses that need to show up between us and other people on this planet today. I'm inviting you to not just let it be a beautiful blessing of a child, a celebration of a prayer shawl ministry, and then we go out these doors and we choose something else other than love again. I'm asking you to be the rose, to bring the inner rose, to remember that love is transformative. Love is a bridge between our differences, between our arguments, between our misunderstandings. And so those of you with a prayer shawl, I'm going to invite you to stand and to wrap it around your shoulders. And the rest of us, I'm going to invite you to send energy to these prayer shawls because you are blessed with the energy of them in this room. And when you go home, if you have one at home you didn't bring today, wrap it around your shoulders. If you're sitting here today and you need one, you need to remember, see the prayer shawl ministry in the foyer before you leave. I invite you all to repeat after me. I reaffirm the power of the prayer shawl. I reaffirm the love in which it was made. I reaffirm the love by which it was received. I reaffirm the love, the truth, and the oneness contained in each stitch. And so it is, and so it shall be. And so it is, and so it shall be. Take a deep breath, and let's be seated. And let's hold this song that we're going to use to go into meditation. It's an old Unity standard. Oh, I got a band somewhere. I didn't give them any warning. Usually, I'm missing Ryan, but we're going to get there. Usually I could go like this, and Ryan would go, let's go. So Tony, this is the signal. Weave us together. And I don't want this to be a song that's contained just in this room, just in this space. I want it to go through the airwaves to those watching online. I want it to go to the people that you need to say, I love you to, even though it's hard to get those words out of your mouth. Everybody deserves the love, and love is what will heal the planet today. Let's go ahead and begin. Take a deep breath with me. And let's sing this prayer and sing to all. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together in love. And let's drop down even deeper into the heart space. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together in love. As the lights begin to come down, let's move inward and upward as Avril leads us in a meditation.
Prayer shawls are the fruit of love, like children, and is shared by Khalil Gibran in The Prophet. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, where you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. It was an act of courage to shoot the arrow, and now I ask you to pause and reflect on the last time you felt brave. Feel the energy in your body as you begin to attend to your body and hold it in stillness. Become fully aware that you have a body, aware that you can move this beautiful body, but deliberately at this now moment, pause and hold your body in stillness. If you have not done so already, close your outer eyes and be aware. Be aware of stillness. Then letting the body remain in this place of effortlessness, you take the awareness and bring it in closer, closer to the center through your breath. Become aware of each breath, like knit and purl, each breath coming and going. Each breath an act of faith. Each breath a prayer for continued existence. I invite you to pause and listen inwardly, just for a moment, to the breath singing you home. Body and breath ebbing and flowing. At this time, take the awareness in closer and bring it into your heart. Primed beautifully by our reflection on a loved one. Wide open by our reflection on a difficult person. Feel into the heart, the source of all of your arrows. Arrows of love, faith, courage. Breathe and focus into the spaciousness and awe in the heart. Thoughts will bubble up. Let them be. Refocus on the silence and remain in that space. Observe the silence at the center the center of consciousness, the source of all arrows. Remain aware of that silence that's one and the same as love as you reflect on the relative quietness of your mind at this time. Be aware of the smoothness of the breath. Feel the stillness of your body. Bring back the silence as you gently open your eyes.
Thank you, Reverend Averill. What a beautiful service today, where we start with love, there's love in the middle, and we'll also close with that same love and energy. And thank you to all of you for bringing that, for pouring it into every fabric of every shawl, of every song and every message and meditation. And as we move into offering time and our ushers start to come forward, I hope that that feeling of love is staying with you, is in that heart space, and is strong enough so that when you're leaving the service, you are carrying that same energy of love with you, because we are certainly still holding space for you. Our prayer chaplains continue to hold space for you. We have 4 prayer chaplains on duty today in all areas of the church, holding space for you, thinking about you, covering you in love and positive energy. And we have a prayer box that has space for your prayers so that you can continue to be thought about and prayed over, not just today, but over and over and over again. So as we move into this offering, we bless our offerings in advance. We bless the prayers and the prayer chaplains as they come forward. So let's say our offering blessing together. I am so blessed. I am so prosperous. And it is my great pleasure to share of my blessings and to share of my prosperity. And in the giving, the entire world is blessed. Thank you, God. Please join us in song.
Well, actually, we're going to let that one go for the sake of time. And we're figuring it out, but we're going to invite Tempe Red Hawk. As the baskets can go. Philippe, don't forget that. That's important. But I do want to remind you, these rose petals are up here. If anybody here today needs to have an extra dose of love, needs to be reminded, come up and get one of these rose petals and take it with you. Maybe take a couple and give it to somebody you think needs to know this as well. But right now, we have a beautiful song called Gypsy Road, right?
Yes, sir.
Tempe Red Hawk is all yours.
Just hit it. You can help me out. Come on. I hear the road calling my name. I think it's time for me to go. Oh, you're not to blame. Let me try to explain. It's freedom I've longed for deep in my soul. No, I can't be the woman you need me to be. This gypsy road is calling me. Oh, yes. Long cold trains, the Sierra Plains are finding their way back to me. No, I can't be the woman you need me to be. This gypsy road is calling me home. Telephones are ringing behind me. I'm going where think it's time for me to go. No, I can't be the woman you need me to be. This gypsy road is calling me home. You.
Thank you for being the example. Don't leave, Tempe. Thank you for being the example of a gypsy that says God's calling you home and you're not going to play small for anybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's end us up on our feet. Let's just claim as we're making our way home down whatever gypsy road we happen to be on, let's be fully present to the ride. Let's enjoy the ride with this old chestnut by Louis Armstrong. Let's join hands. Let's join hearts. Let's join intentions. Let's join spirits and sing together. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed days and the dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends holding hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, turn left and right, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Can you hold that baby up one more time as we end this song? Hold them up real high. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Have a blessed and beautiful bridge building week. Be the love that we know you are. We'll see you next Sunday for Mother's Day.